my experience was always with, of course, K-12 public education in particular. And what I witnessed of children that were coming into with Better Way with their parent, what a difference it made for them being able to come back to school. Because when you don't know, or you come in fear every day, it's very difficult to pay attention. And so just the security of a Better Way, I think the safety of a Better Way is what I really noticed. And when you have parents that are doing better, students do better everywhere.
Part of my work at the Fall State Counseling Center is we see a lot of college students who come in, and this is the first time out of their family, and a lot of those students have experienced a lot of difficult things, and this is the first chance they're having to talk about it. And for those students, it's sometimes a real barrier to just getting the day-to-day coursework done, right? Like when you go to college, you've got to manage not just the coursework, but how do you live on your own, how do you make sure your laundry gets done, those kinds of things. And for those students who've experienced a lot of those negative life events before they get there, it's a real struggle. We have to do a lot of work, and the more you can intervene when they're younger, the more you can sort of prepare them to be successful. Even in my private practice, I don't just work with kids when they come in. I work with families, I work with parents, and that's the same approach that I think
it's a holistic.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yes, I was thinking that a Better Way also is so non-judgmental.
Right.
So when the environment's just not safe, but the mental environment is safe for children to just relax. And when parents don't feel like they're being judged, it's unconditional care and service. I think that's huge.
And I think a Better Way does a great job of connecting their clients with resources necessary to help them get early education intervention, but also help the client maybe seek some better opportunities.
What you're talking about, and with the schools, great partnership. Never working outside the school or around the school, but always with the school, and that makes a huge difference also. They have programming in the schools. These were my experiences, and working with the board at the time prior to when I had that experience, very involved. And again, the clients really like that. Again, it's that personal contact, which they really haven't had.
Right.
Because when you have domestic violence and such, you're out there on your own.
And you feel like you're flailing. And I think a lot of folks, when they seek out help, a lot of moms probably are scared what's going to happen to their child in the area of education. And then what does that look like going forward for themselves? So I think a Better Way, just like the connectivity they have to each of the schools and to each of the higher ed educational institutions and stuff like that, I think that really helps.
Oh, and Better Way has worked right with the teachers. I mean, I've actually seen that, where they're working and communicating with the teachers in a way that really helps the teacher.
Right.
Because you don't always know if you're doing the right thing. And you don't have to have all the information, but just enough information that things you need to know. And they were very good at that.
And just having them assessed when they enter the a Better Way system, and having that child assessed so that they can get the right resources for early intervention. That's so important. And I think that a lot of times maybe that early intervention can help set them up for long-term success and breaking that cycle of domestic violence and breaking that cycle of poverty and generational poverty is truly what the mission is, hopefully, what we accomplish, right?
You're hitting on something too that Better Way is really trying to inform the community.
Right.
Oftentimes, if poverty does not touch people, I mean, I really watch this in schools. If it's not about me or I'm not had that experience, then what's my vested interest in this?
Right.
Well, the community is your vested interest. Right. And so it's kind of like, boat rising raises all, the tide. So it's important that people generally understand that when your community's better, everyone's better.
Right.
And I think a Better Way tries to make that connection and tries to educate people around what's happening there.
Well, I think it goes back to that non-judgmental approach that you talk about, right? So, you talk about all the things these families need, and I think there's a lot of fear, a lot of stigma. I don't want to seek out help because people will judge me. right? And to have that safe, non-judgmental approach, both in the work that A Better Way does, but also their work in the community to help people understand,
Yes.
right? You talk about reaching out to teachers and those kinds of things, and having those conversations about here's how you support this child, right? But that you don't judge the child, you make those assumptions. I think that is so critical.
And just try not to disrupt their life. I mean, they're going through a hard time and life disruptions. I think that's where education is so important.